Hey y'all, Michael Lunsford here, Citizens for New Louisiana, and I'm here to talk to you about the most controversial thing I can think of. The summer reading program at the Lafayette Public Library. Doesn't that sound controversial? It's not controversial. However, if your job is to sell ads and to sell newspapers, you have to do something to make a living, right? That's what Claire Taylor, again, is up to. Let me, and look, she's not just written one story, she's not just written two. I found three, and she's probably still at it. She probably wrote another one today. But I have these three stories. I only need to read you one. They all say the same thing. She just repeats them. Here's the one I want to talk to you about. Lafayette Library Board not responsible for bad publicity. Councilman says he blames residents. Number one, lie off the bat. He did not blame residents. He was talking about people in the council chamber when he made those comments. That's who he was talking about, people in the room with him. This was during the council meeting. So it was, yes, members of the public were there, yes, residents were there. But who he was talking to were the political activists, one of which is Claire Taylor of The Advocate. Let me finish this little bit of article here. First segment of the article, first sentence. Negative national news reports. Stop. Let me explain to you how this works. Claire Taylor works for The Advocate. It is a member of the Associated Press. So when she says negative national news reports, she's talking about her news reports that she submitted to the Associated Press that they're just picking up and printing. They're not flying people down here to fact check her. They just trust that whatever she says must be true because she's still employed by The Advocate for whatever reason. We don't know. Obviously, it's not for truth in these news articles. Moving down the line. Negative national news reports about Lafayette Parish Public Library system, such as prohibiting book displays on Pride Month. Okay, not what is happening. As well as contentious board meetings are the fault of residents, not the library board. Parish councilman said Tuesday. Again, he didn't say residents. He was referring to people in the room. And let me read you the email that prohibited book displays on Pride Month. You ready for this? In late May, Library Director Danny Glane told library managers book displays should focus on the summer reading program. The summer that's the controversy. We should focus on the summer reading program. Hey guys, summer's coming up. What are we going to focus on? Reading. Hey guys, we work for the library. What should we be focusing on? Reading. This is the mission of the library. This is not controversial. I'm sorry to tell you, making up stuff to create a controversy, that's not cool. I got to tell you, it's just, all right, moving on. Continuing. We want to take the spotlight away from anything considered political and focus on what the library does best, providing programs and services to everyone in Lafayette Parish, period. Okay, so it's like Thanksgiving dinner. You tell your family, hey, we're not talking about politics and we're not talking about religion. We're going to have family dinner, we're going to have a good time, everybody goes home, everybody's happy. Those are the rules. What are we going to do? What are we going to focus on? We're going to focus on the summer reading program. This is not, The stuff that he twists this to get you upset. And it's all lies. Let me read you she goes on. Controversial and political topics include books about specific segments of the population. Claire Taylor, insert Claire Taylor. That would include LGBTQ citizens, blacks, Women's History Month, Native American history, and Cajun heritage. That's not what Danny Glane said. I called him. I said, hey, could you send me a copy of the email? He said, why? It's in her article. She published the whole thing. I said, yeah, that part in quotes, yeah, that's it. That's the whole email. I'm like, well, you didn't say anything about LGBTQ or blacks or Women's History Month or Native American or Cajun heritage. He said, no. I just said, let's focus on reading. And this is what Claire Taylor comes up with. This is insane. Is there, and here's something else. There's a parish councilman who got sucked in by this. And there's people on the city council getting sucked in by this, by these lies being told by the local media. Let me read you a quote from one of the council members. I'm not going to tell you who it is. It's crazy to prohibit displays of books about Cajuns, blacks, LGBTQ citizens. Parish councilman Beep said. That's not what happened. And you should be ashamed of yourself for propagating this garbage into the community and getting everybody else stirred up, you don't even know what you're talking about. Pay attention, do your own research, stop reading fake news and spouting it like it's real. Now I'm not even going to read these other two. Let me tell you a little bit about Citizens for New Louisiana. They have accused us of being hyper-partisan and very political and all this stuff. And I have to tell you, it's not true. In fact, if you look at our track record and look what we have accomplished over the last several years of working diligently every day in Lafayette, what have we done? Bayou Vermilion District. They started out with George Floyd happened. They did a big thing about, what was it? Systemic racism and police brutality. What's Bayou Vermilion District's mission? Keeping the river clean and clear so that your house doesn't flood. What were they doing talking about systemic racism and police brutality? They're not experts. That's not their job. That's not their role. That's not why they get tax money. $2 million a year in tax money to tell you, to preach to you about how terrible of a person you are. So what we did was we found good, solid volunteers that understood bookkeeping, that understood we have a mission to accomplish, and we're going to work on the mission, right? We got them appointed to the board. It took us a long time to flip that board. But now that all them nuts are gone, what are they focused on? What are you hearing out of Bayou Vermilion District? Ooh, it's the sound of the river flowing. That's what you got because we took the politics out of Bayou Vermilion District and they're now refocused back on their original mission. And that's what we've done at Citizens for New Louisiana. Turn the page. Lafayette Public Library. Not too long ago, they decided they were going to take a political stance and use your tax dollars to promote a political agenda in Lafayette. We said, that's not the role of the library. The library's supposed to do what? Reading. The summer reading program. Big shock. So what happened? We worked diligently. It took us 2 years. We eventually got every single board member that did that other junk, save one, there's one left. Every single board member gone. The director, who was the instigator and the architect of all that, gone. There's a new director there now. His name is Danny Gillane. And listen, he and I, if you talk politics like on a political spectrum, I know I'm right of center. He's left of center. We're nowhere anywhere in between. We're pretty far apart on political stuff, right? But you know what? He says, but this isn't political. This is the library. We're just supposed to do reading. And I agree. He and I have come together as a conservative and a liberal and said, the library has a mission. I will do the mission. And I think it's great. So look, if you have an opportunity, send Danny an email, make a phone call, just say, hey, keep up the good work. Thank you for taking the politics out of the library. Thank you for taking the politics out of local government. We get to hear this junk all day, all the time. It's nice to finally have a place we can go with the kids and not have to hear it. That's what we've accomplished, Citizens for New Louisiana, with the work and the diligent effort we've put forward. So when you hear all that other junk, just know it's not true. Back to basics. What should we do with government? Remove the politics and do your job. That's it. And that's what we focus on here at Citizens for New Louisiana, and I know that's what you guys appreciate out there in public. So look, tell me what you think. Comment below. Call the library. Call Danny Gillane. Send him an email. Tell him thank you. Call the city council. Tell them they should get back to work and not fool around with all this social, political agenda stuff, because it works. Thank you, guys. Have a great weekend. Check you next time.